So what is India watching right now?
I think India is doom scrolling. I think the business that we left pre-pandemic doesn't exist on the business that we have post-pandemic. I think there are fundamental shifts. So I like to describe it as saying the big has become bigger, the medium has become small, and the small is finding new ways to express.
So you're saying there's no toolkit per se for making content go viral today?
I would say, when people meet me saying, "Hi, mera content viral bana." How do we make our content viral?
Is TV dead?
I feel TV in its traditional format, much like advertising in its traditional format, is dead. I think today, the days of just watching news, I believe, is over. I think you need a little bit of entertainment.
Which is what TVC is doing.
So let's be throwing some entertainment in this. I'm the entertainment person.
As a massive information overload, a massive digital overdose of content. One, does it concern the overdose?
Not at all. No, I also go to bed every night and say, यार मैं ना सुबह उठ के पहले 10 मिनट में अपना WhatsApp और Instagram चेक नहीं करूँ. नहीं होता है बॉस. Let's face it. It's an Instagram or a YouTube. There are two platforms. Right? That's who make money. तो आप दो प्लेटफॉर्म के ऑडियंस से अपना सेलिब्रिटी बना दो.
Meta and Google.
Creator himself gets fed up. कितना बारी वो ये रील बना. How long can you make the same reel on beauty? How long can you make the same reel on nutrition?
Talk to me a little bit about what are your fears?
My fear is people are going to wake up every morning with anxiety of how many likes they have, and they may want to give up over a year.
Isn't that already happening?
Sometimes it won't work. It's like working with my celebrities, right? And telling them, yeah, 3 movies made time. But that doesn't mean you give up on the cause. That's a more tried and tested mechanism. Here, the only problem is there are only 52 Fridays in a year. Here, every day is a new day. Vijay, will the creator economy fail? My answer to that is, do you think the internet will? If the internet won't fail, the creator economy won't.
Our next guest on TVC this morning is somebody whose designation is that of a CEO. But if you ask him what he actually does, his answer is going to wow you. He's somebody who could be the man responsible for making people go viral, for stars to be turned into superstars, for small talent pools to be converted into huge opportunities. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Vijay Subramanian. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for having me.
So, हमने तो आपका designation बता दिया है. Like I said, if you had to define yourself and tell the world what you do, what would you say?
I'm attempting to be the platform for people to express their creative talent, regardless of who you are, where you're from. You could be a housewife in Virality, you could be a budding actor, you could be a gym instructor, you could be a musician, you could be a comic. I believe that I'm endeavoring to build a platform where I make your dreams come true of making you a content creator for life. So, I mean, in a nutshell, it's what I guess taxi aggregation did for drivers, and they brought them all to a formalized economy. I'm trying to see if I can do that for content creation at large, using technology, entertainment, and media.
So what is India watching right now?
It's a great question. A lot of my producer friends are trying to answer that because, of the various ebbs and flows that are happening in at least the box office side of things. But I think digital content is kind of blown up. And what I mean by that is, I don't know whether you have, how many hours a day do you spend in doom scrolling?
Too many.
Right? There you go. I think India is doom scrolling.
Yeah.
By the hours. I think what the pandemic has done is it's accelerated the growth of any and all digital mediums. I think what the pandemic has done is it's brought in alternative forms of entertainment. And I think what the pandemic has brought out is, I think the business that we left pre-pandemic doesn't exist on the business that we have post-pandemic. I think there are fundamental shifts. Fundamental shifts can be in terms of movie buying and ticket buying in the cinemas. Suddenly, there's an advent of a lot more live events and ticketed shows that are happening. You see major market dynamic shifts like Zomato's acquisition of Insider. You see big festivals like Lollapalooza come to India. So, it's just kind of, everything's kind of magnified. I think, so I like to describe it as saying the big has become bigger, the medium has become small, and the small is finding new ways to express.
Nice. You say there's a shift, but my personal view is that there seems to be an expansion of the pie rather than a shift per se. We are perhaps in the time in our lives where people are consuming content everywhere. Doesn't matter the size of the screen or doesn't matter the time of the day or the hour. So at the end of the day, that's what I meant when I asked you that what is India watching? What is going viral? What kind of content is really attracting people?
This virality is a bit of a, I would say, when people meet me saying, "Bhai, mera content viral bana." Or when advertisers meet, they say, "How do we make our content viral?" If you look at any piece of content that's gone viral, I don't think anybody who made it with that intention in the first place, right? I think you have. So if you ask me, going back, I think your question had two parts to it. One is, has the pie of entertainment and media consumption increased? 100% yes. I think if it was this big, if it was a 6-piece pizza, it's become a 12-piece pizza, right? That's the advantage.
Yeah.
So a lot of people tell me, is the creator economy and the celebrity economy eating each other? I don't think they are. I think it's a layer that's adding. I don't think anybody's cannibalizing each other's markets. That's point number one. I think point number two is what makes a content viral. I think if you go back, so who do you follow on Instagram? What are your top 5 pages?
Lots. I'm not naming
Not
them
influencers. Okay. So if I was to tell, let me give you an example. We acquired this beautiful company called Terribly Tiny Tales. Terribly Tiny Tales makes content only about heartbreak and heartmake. So love is their underlying theme.
Yeah.
Right? Stories that connect with you emotionally. So many people connect with that page. Yeah. Right? Not because it's viral, but their content just goes organically. If you're living in middle class India, you just want to have a cup of chai and just hear them out. That's viral for me.
Yeah.
Virality is not a product of number of views. Virality is a product of the number of right views. There's a difference. एक होता है कि 100 करोड़ लोग ने देख लिया, रजिस्टर किसने किया? लेकिन अगर 1 करोड़ लोग ने सही रजिस्टर करके and they actually become ambassadors of that's viral.
So you're saying there's no toolkit per se for making content go viral?
But how do you know how you're making a hit movie? You don't know.
There used to be formulas for big blockbusters.
It's gone. I think that formula, the formula used to be what? A big star. The formula used to be
It's a larger than life script with
may not be a larger than
story.
life script. I think pre-pandemic, an average star could open a film. I don't think that's the case post-pandemic. I think today you have the mega stars who have proven their mega stardom. I think today it's not that formulaic, right? If you see some of the cinema success that have happened recently, it's not really formulaic in its sense, right? You don't know what's working, what's not working, right? Or you have a Telugu film that's doing thousands of crores in the box office, right? In a market that is dubbed, they're not even shooting in the primary language, right? So you really don't know what's working in that sense. So I don't think there's a formula. I think what really works today is if you write a piece of content that you are true to on digital, I think it connects. I think that's the advent of the content creator.
Yeah. I was worried you were going to say authenticity, which is why I'm glad you
But I believe in it. But yeah, I mean, that's the only advice I give creators.
Yeah, then stay authentic.
तुम अपना सच बोलो तो hopefully content मिलेगा.
Yeah. Okay. So there's so much of stuff, Vijay, that when you are around, one has to speak about. One has to speak about the kind of the business of content creation. One has to talk about content creation itself. One has to talk about also how the audience is evolving in this period of time and how this actually adds up to numbers, right? And I also want to very interestingly understand this TV versus online divide also with you. So TV traditionally has been a space which used to be a go-to for advertisers. Now, more and more, including CEOs of the biggest media firms, go on record to tell their employees that TV is dead. Is TV dead? I'm saying CEOs of big networks are telling their employees that TV is dead, days are numbered, you better switch and cross over to online, otherwise.
I feel TV in its traditional format, much like advertising in its traditional format, is dead. Either dead or it's the end of days. Unless you find a way of re-engaging content strategy, I don't think it lasts. Like, let me tell you, I think today the days of just watching news, I believe, is over. I think you need a little bit of infotainment. That's what IPL has done. Why is Test cricket doing?
Which is what TBC is doing.
Didn't see you, so let's been throwing some entertainment in this. I'm the entertainment coach.
I'm the infotainment coach here, so I'll plug that in.
I feel TV in its traditional format is challenging. I feel gone are the days where you can linear TV in how you consumed it from a Sas Babu reality point of view. I think it's challenging. Why? Because fundamentally the format doesn't. You don't have a two-way communication in that format, right? The only thing TV has going for it, which is why I don't think TV is dead, and I think it needs reinvention, is just the distribution strength. The fact that you're present in, 200 million homes?
Yeah.
That's a difficult number to be. That critical mass is bigger than a continent, right? So the question is, you still have the idiot box. You still have people turning it on. Cord cutting has happened, for sure. But you still have a lot of mass India that's still open to being hooked onto it. But I feel your formats need to change.
Yeah.
I feel TV is lost. I feel TV programming is still stuck on catering to the population of the country, which people are not realizing is getting younger. I don't think an 18-year-old today wants to watch it. So you're constantly making shows for 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds. But my question to you guys is, what are you doing for the teenagers? When we were small, you got WWE. You were hooked onto it, right? What are you doing? Like I keep telling advertisers, you were interestingly discussing a show, which is a 13-minute show on a streaming platform. Why not have those formats? Why are you guys stuck to 22 minutes, 48 minutes? You guys, I feel TV, like traditional advertising, has just forgotten the reinvent. That's also because the actual question is, you need that young layer of leadership, and you need to actually talk to your audiences more often and understand what they're doing. There's no point having a digital platform and not understanding what their data is telling.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
But let's flip to the other side. You talk about digital being younger, associating more with people, being more authentic and all that. But we are also looking at it as a massive information overload, a massive digital overdose of content, which is really fatiguing people.
Is it?
I think that, yes, more and more younger people now, and statistics of these have been found in the West. India might catch up on it a little later, where they're saying, I will not own a smartphone because it's impacting my mental health.
Firstly, I'm a big disbeliever on drawing parallels with the West. They're a mature economy. They are many, many moons ahead of us. I don't think there is any comparison, between the two markets. It's like comparing India with China. I think what people don't understand is China is one language. India is not one language. You can't have the same demographic. How many smartphone users do we have? 600 million? 700 million? Approx? Is that the number? That's 50% of the population that's not even connected. So where's the question of, if 10,000 woke kids decide to move to...
You don't see that number increasing?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, I'm a parent.
See, coming from you, I'll take it with a pinch of
No,
salt.
not at all.
You are biased to say that.
I
so
see
I'll
no
take that.
data that is pointing in the direction of people saying, I don't want to use smartphones. No data. I mean, I see a few articles where I think it's cool to say it, that I own a feature phone and I don't own a smartphone.
Question really is that, does it concern, as an industry leader, as a thought leader on this one, does it concern the overdose?
Not at all. I think it's like, people keep saying, is there an overdose of cricket? You still want all cricket rights? Nobody's not. It's the same thing, right? India loses or wins the World Cup and 1 week later they're in another country playing. Is that good? Bad? I mean, it's like saying, look around. You're in my office. Look around everywhere. I think it's a cool thing to say. Oh, you know what? Social media is cluttering my mind. Please get off it. Do a sample test, right? I'm telling you. You have a circle of friends. Next time you're at dinner, do a actual dipstick. Open their phones and see the amount of time they spend on an app. And actually ask them, I need to get off.
Just because they're doing it, it's right. The point is not that.
I'm dealing with your fact.
Yeah.
Your fact and your feeling is not.
I'm saying think not.
I also
as
go
a
to bed
CEO.
every night. No, I also go to bed every night and say, यार मैं ना सुबह उठ के पहले 10 मिनट में अपना WhatsApp और Instagram चेक नहीं करूंगा.
हाँ.
नहीं होता है बॉस. कर लो. I mean, बोलने के लिए cool है, ड्राइंग रूम कॉन्वर्सेशन के लिए, वर्क कल्चर के लिए बहुत cool है. रियलिटी में होता है. खुद चेक करो.
Okay. So moving away from TV versus online and what online is doing, let's talk about creators for a bit, right? So you clearly have been at the forefront of understanding this economy. And I say economy because you've actually been able to convert this into business, which wasn't the case many years ago. At the moment, with so many people coming in, idea is, has it become very cluttered?
Answer is no. Because I call it the newspaper quote syndrome, right? Where everybody likes to throw numbers. India has 80 million creators, 90 million creators. How do you define an economy when there is enough industry for there to be revenue and business outcome? The influencer marketing business, and we did this report with ENY last year. The influencer marketing business is projected to hit 3,000 crores in 2 years, which is money I pay you to do a post on social media for which you get paid, right? It's a vocational job, right?
Yeah.
You're getting paid to interview me. I'm getting paid to manage or to run a company. As a creator, you're getting paid to promote my brand, or an advertiser or a platform is paying. 3,000 crores is not $1 billion market. On the back of 3,000 crores, you have billions of dollars of advertising, which platforms are making. The creator is not making.
Got it. Yeah.
So if your full market is 3,000 crores, the noise is bigger than the substance. I'm here to actually convert that. How does that 3,000, like China is a multi-billion dollar creator market where creators make those billions of dollars.
But will that money get distributed? Or will that money go in the hands of the few? Again, I'm saying this because there seems to be now a generation or a filtered layer of influencers who seem to be getting the maximum chunk of money and views.
Which is what I told you. That's the Pareto.
Yeah.
It is applicable. There is an 80-20 rule, right?
Yeah.
But more and more, we empower micro and nano transactions. Much the same way as you would power a Kirana store to come into the formalized retail economy for him to scale or for her to scale. For me, the fundamental is today, if you are a chef in Surat selling dabeli, hypothetically, but you're really good at selling dabeli, and you can scale your business by being on a platform. So you can do a collaboration with Maggi, or you can do a collaboration with Kisan Ketchup, or you can sell it on Swiggy by putting it on social media. That's when you're really making power happen. That's the goal. Right now, what you guys are seeing is very clearly let's face it, it's an Instagram or a YouTuber. There are two platforms, right? That's who make money. Either you're an Instagrammer or you're a YouTuber. There's no other platform. So आप दो platform के audience से अपना celebrity बना दो. What happened when TikTok went? There were 30 clones that came up. None of them have found success.
Correct.
So you were left with a duopoly. So effectively, that duopoly's usage is what? You have 400 million or 450 million on YouTube. You have about 300
So
million.
Meta and Google.
Meta and Google.
Yeah.
Now, my whole conversation is when you can make a business sustain of WhatsApp, when you can start building more experiences, that's when the creator economy really, really moves up, right? And I'm glad that, I'm glad that today the creator economy has also been validated by the government with the creator awards that happened. It's all about formalizing that economy because then you have more people wanting to do it. I keep telling my team also, don't fall for your own PR. The real PR story is how do we create multi-millionaires with content creators? We don't have that yet.
But what is the formula then? How will this work? Is it going to work very similarly to how you've managed celebrities for all this while? Or will it open up new sort of horizons? We see content creators today who are writing books, who are launching their own brands, who are in movies. They are everywhere. And at a very basic level, people have started seeing content creators or influencers or social media also as just a platform to kick off and do something else. Is that a fair thing to say?
I think the moment you want to build a business, you can't rely on one platform. You have to be spread across. I think what we are trying to do is use tech as an enabling layer for discovery, right? So we are using tech to discover whose data is popping. So we have something called as the Alpha program. The Alpha program monitors around 1,000 creators in the upcoming sector, right? And then, of course, because we've traditionally been the leaders in grooming talent, see what happens is it's an upfunnel, right? You discover them through data and analytics using tech. Then you kind of start monitoring, and then you give them the white glove service, right? So it's the reverse funnel.
Yeah.
So I believe that for me, the real eureka is when I see young talent on the internet, age agnostic. When I see young talent on the internet, give me enough data that there is something there that we can groom. Whether you can be a chef, you can be a fashion designer, you can be a comics. There's so many travel bloggers who are earning this for a living because they really make great travel content, right? There's a new thing that started, which is sustainability creators. Creators who are brand ambassadors of sustainability. So, and I feel we have to give them all opportunities in commerce and advertising. So, launch their, now when I say commerce, it just doesn't mean perfume launch karo. It also means, in some cases, launching their production setups, launching, platforms for their music distribution. It could be launching them into movies. It could be launching them into start. Like we did that, right? With Bhuvan Bam, that's exactly what we did. It was a YouTuber who we packaged the show in Disney Plus Hotstar called Taza Khabar. And then that blew up. Right now, and that's what we're doing, right? That up-funneling of that journey becomes very, very.
So there is somebody like a, say, Ranveer Alabadia, and there is also somebody like a Dolly Chaiwala. Between this entire spectrum, do you see one is a one-hit wonder and the other
100%.
is somebody?
I think what they suffer from the most, and this is what I keep telling them. There is a very quick format fatigue. आप वही stand-up sketch कितने साल तक करोगे? It's like an actor, and when I speak to the best advice we give, for example, I work with 2-3 clients very closely who are agent, and our constant conversation is, you can't do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Right? How do you break the box? You can't be an action hero all your life. You can't be a chocolate boy all your life. Right? You have to break formats, right? The same thing here. The only problem is here, the format cycle is small. 4 saal, because the creator himself gets fed up. Kitna bari wohi reel ban? How many times to make the same YouTube sketch?
Yeah.
So they fatigue a lot faster. So you have to, as a talent spotter, preempt when that fracture point will come and start preparing them in that direction to find their next level. So the question with creators, the challenge is, how long can you make the same reel on beauty? How long can you make the same reel on nutrition? How long can you do the same workout regimes? You need to keep abrupt. You need to find newer ways of expression. And that's what we
So the peak is getting or
Faster.
is hitting faster, and you're saying that is going to be the differentiator between where a lot of the crowd will be left behind, and that is where the difference really lies.
Your retirement age will come fast.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So you got to plan ahead.
So it's like a cricketer, right? Do you want to play ODI, T20 and Test? Some of them don't, right? Some of them are ODI specialists. But some of them are T20 specialists. That's the same problem here.
Okay.
The real creators are multi-format. I think Bhuvan's a great example. He's an actor, he's a producer, he's a real creator. He's a great example of.
Yeah. So you're saying that the next big unlock for creators, so to say, will come in understanding where you peak and how to pivot. That's a fair understanding, right? But even if you look at the top stars, blockbuster stars in the country, all of them now have their personal brands. They have personal companies that they're running. So diversification is the name of the game, not just for influencers, even for top celebs.
I think it's the case with media. And I use celebrity as a media, right? I think you as for example, a media channel today will need to have a digital leg. Will need to have a TV leg. Will need to have an experiential leg, right? So you'll have your summit or you'll have your digital platform, etc. Similarly here, there is diversity. But even there, if you do it for the sake of it, you find failures there. But if you do it because you really believe in the cause, you find success. Look at what happened with Ronaldo last week.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Now, if Ronaldo was to sell his own products via YouTube, of course it will sell. So he's got one more place to distribute it, right?
Yeah.
So I think
Isn't that like a really complicated situation for brands to be in?
very no, but I'll tell you what, that's also the opportunity. And that's why I think, see what's happened with brands, and this is my constant disconnect with the big CMOs, right? And I've been able to convert a few of them. Typically, the new media technology was only adopted by startups in this country because they couldn't afford mass media.
Correct.
Correct? So it was your venture funded companies that created the creator economy and the new media economy.
Cheaper, easier. Yeah.
आज what हो रहा है, if you're a Fortune 500 multinational on FMCG or automobile or cement and steel, if you don't adopt this medium, you'll get disrupted. So what is happening now, where you find it's not complicated for brands, it's getting easier, is because brands have also now realized कि यार अभी ये feel good नहीं है. This is a must have. I'm okay to compromise on my 30-second TV spot, but if I take money off this, then what are we doing? Like one of the key reasons, say for example, why I acquired under 25, demographically, 70% of India is under 30. Correct? And to your first question, that 70% may or may not be watching TV. Right? Even if they're watching IPL, they're watching it on their phones. Or they're watching it through Disney Plus Hotstar. They may not be watching it through Passport.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then what happens there is you are effectively you need to talk to them. If you are a age-old skin brand or a beauty brand, you need to have a conversation with them. That's why it's working for brands, because today they don't necessarily say कि यार, if I have an A+ celebrity, I only need to do a TV and hoarding with them. I can also use them for a live experience on a social media platform. I can also use them as pushing my product through a affiliate link or through a shopping link, where it has tangible outcomes. As opposed to कि कितने लोगों ने देखा मेरा TV spot. Yeah, you'll have some data like BARC or something that will give you some numbers, but यहाँ पर तो real time you're getting data.
Yeah. No, performance marketing has changed the game and everybody's sort of realizing it, even big brands. No qualms there. But the pricing, that doesn't really add up to what you're saying, right?
Oh, it doesn't, but also it's a price for reach. I mean, how much do you pay a media channel for a 30-second spot?
Much more than...
Maybe, maybe not. But if you're saying reaching out via a big celebrity to 80 million people, we'll pay for that now. I want to pay for that.
I think that sensitivity is coming. They're okay to...
I mean, I'm
because the money that the company is putting in remains the same.
I think
There will be division.
I think the sensitivity has to come in. But that's why I keep saying I don't think it's a choice of the advertisers. I mean, that's where advertising is dead. If today you think that you have done a 500% primary research by making 500 people sit in a conference room and say, मेरा लिपस्टिक का ये शेड आपको अच्छा लगा, link test of this campaign works, वो दिन खत्म है boss. I mean, you're really living in a stone age if you feel that, you know, a 55-year-old brand manager, category head or an agency head sitting in Surat with 300 consumers saying आपको ये अच्छा लगता है, ये campaign आपको, वो days are over, follow, come get real.
Yeah. So, Vijay, you obviously paint a picture where this is going to be the future. Talk to me a little bit about what are your fears?
My fears is as an industry or as a company?
As a both. But first as an industry.
As an industry, my fear is how does this not become a bubble? And I thought startups was that bubble, which had happened. You know, now you have corrections coming in, etc. The reason we started a fund was also because I genuinely saw people were not building brands, they were buying revenue. And I thought there was a fundamental disconnect between the two. I think you build a great brand and revenue is a byproduct. But if you are consistent, you know, one of the main things I keep telling my startup founders in our portfolio is how much of your business is accrued to performance versus brand. We don't have a problem if you grow 20% slower, but if you're building the brand for the long term, we're not in this business to make you burn money and to make money, right? So good revenue versus bad revenue. Same conversation on the creator side is how many of you have that? It's very difficult, but I'll tell you what. My fear is people are going to wake up every morning with anxiety of how many likes they have and they may want to give up earlier. That's my fear.
Isn't that already happening?
It's already happening. But what will happen is sometimes it won't work. It's like working with my celebrities, right? And telling them, yeah, 3 movies may tank. but that doesn't mean you give up on the cause. That's a more tried and tested mechanism. Here, the only problem is there are only 52 Fridays in a year. Here, every day is a new day, right? So, how do you ensure you maintain harmony for people to stick out the right and be true to who they are? That's my fear. Uh, Otherwise, I see this, to be very honest with you, Sonal, I think this is a foolproof economy. Because these guys are not building it on the back of something that needs to be created. They're building it on the back of the internet, which is available to all. So then you are failing. The opportunity is not.
Yeah. Yeah. And how, is there a solution you have for that?
No, yeah. I think it will solve. It's too big. The critical mass is too big for it to fail. So if you ask me, okay, let me rephrase it. Vijay, will the creator economy fail? My answer to that is, do you think the internet will fail? If the internet won't fail, the creator economy won't fail. It can't fail.
That's it.
Because the internet is meant to be used,
Huh.
and one of the key use cases in the internet is content. And to create content, you need creators.
Okay. Okay. So, all of this aside, I want to talk a little bit about your own personal journey. How many companies have you acquired in the past 1 year? I've lost count. 5. And where do you see this going, Agi?
I don't know. I think if you ask me, I read this off a quote of Warren Buffett in his book where he said 20 years down the line, if you were to write a headline of your press release, what would it be? In our case, it would be the company that democratized the content creator business. In our case, it would be the market creator, not the market leader. Right? I correct that because I genuinely believe as a conglomerate, we are not leading the market. We are creating. I think you have many people who are trying to do verticals of what we do. But as a horizontal platform, I don't think anyone, and believe me, Sonal, when you sort of speak personally, it comes with a lot of sleepless nights. It comes with a lot of sacrifices and compromise. It's not easy. I can count, at times when you're on this, when you're possessed with this journey of, I wouldn't say legacy because that's an often used word, when you're possessed in this journey of trying to build something, and most people have it who were founders, etc. I feel I'm in year 17 of what I do, but I feel I'm on day 1. So I think that every day waking up saying, ask kya nahi ho raha hai, ask kya nahi ho raha hai. And that's why I've done it. That's why we've acquired, because I genuinely believe every acquisition we've made, every business we've built is adding internally first to our flywheel, which means our clients, which means our celebrity, which means our talent. And, that's the whole reason for acquiring it. So my headline is the guy who organized, or the company that organized a disorganized business.
Nice. And can I just give some perspective to our viewers as well? When we walked into the Collective Artist office, and even before I got into it, at the elevator, I just saw Gen Z all around me. It was just filled. I entered the office and I was like, what is this place? What is this energy? And that sort of resonates here as well. But how easy or difficult is it to work with this generation?
It's tough, but I love it. I'll tell you why. I'm an army officer's son. And my genesis comes from playing heavy metal for a band, right? So I've always run the organization with an army mentality, right? So I keep telling people, welcome to the army, right? It's not welcome to the team. Because an army is made by design, not by need, right? You choose to enter an army. So I keep telling people that we are in this, it's going to be a different. So for me, one of the biggest things that I try and maintain in the company is how do you maintain a certain commonality in culture, which gets really difficult when the company goes bigger. But I think we've been able to maintain it so far. Touch wood. If you ask me what's my fear, that's my only fear. My fear is not what we'll build, because I'm pretty certain we'll get there. My fear is to build it, keeping the essence of how we built it so far.
And define the culture of your company right
now? It is, think of a battalion in peace and war times in the army. So think 300, think that, right? I believe that best, like for leadership for my culture is don't bark orders, get your hands dirty, right? Don't be the guy who's saying, climb 3,000 feet, enemy at the bank. My thing is I will climb with you, right? That's the thing there. To the troops, it is There could be better money there could be better money outside. You could make more money for lesser work. But if you're in this, you're on a bullet train. So we are aggressive, we're ambitious, and most importantly, if you're not in it where you really give a genuine shit about each other, don't do it. I keep saying that we are the biggest expense item in someone's wedding because a lot of people in our company have found best friends, roommates. It is like an army, right? It's a lot of people have found solace. A lot of people have found love. So we built this with that culture of the arm, and I come from that, right? I was in a band for 11 years. We had a community. Yeah. So it's very community, group, together. You will feel collective has entered a room in a movie premiere. You will feel collective has entered a room in an event. So the biggest legacy is you're with collective. You're not with Vijay. Right? You're with collective, and that's what we're trying to build. That's my if you ask me what my secret sauce is, it's that feeling of saying, todenge aaj. And saath mein karenge. If I look to my left, I have someone. If I look to my right, I have someone.
Yeah. But it's awfully difficult, I must say. More and more companies are finding it difficult to hire young people. They're finding it impossible to retain them. So do you have some pearls of wisdom?
I think be straight up. Like I keep telling people, watching this ever want to apply, that don't come here. This is my rule, may not work for all. If you want this, I believe in work-life harmony. I am not working, I'm living. Correct? And if you want to enter, like I keep telling people on their first day that this may not be meant for everybody. And I don't mean that with apology. This is not some place where every morning it will be kosher, easy. But you're gonna enter with a certain rigmarole, with a certain ability to get it done, because that's the attitude that everyone has in this room. From the security guard who's in the place to Ganesh who serves my coffee every day to me, right? I will pay attention to everything at that pace. So I make my expectations to even Gen Z or whatever you call them very clear. कि भैया कभी Saturday काम करना पड़ेगा. We are in that business. You don't have a choice, right? So if you're really willing to make this passionate, if you're willing to approach this with passion, if you approach this like a job, collective is not for you.
Yeah.
And I say it with zero apology. I say it at my induction. If this is a job, don't do it. You won't last.
I like how you said we're not working, we're living. And I think that's pretty much the slogan over here. But how did such a cool guy like you, who was doing bands in Bangalore in this big bad world and working with the kind of aggression that you are right now,
I managed my band. So I managed 5 eccentric idiots with me. I was also the drummer. I got them shows, I got them gigs. I did all of that. और engineering पढ़ रहा था. Heat and mass transfer में fail हो गया. और फिर decide किया कि ये तो नहीं होगा. So I was probably one of the only guys in my campus who didn't sit for a single campus interview. I said I can't do this. I interned with Mahesh Bhupati's Global Sport, got hired into it, started with events production, then went on to selling events, then went on to managing artists. So I owe it all to Synapse. I'll send this clip to them when this comes out. We are 6 of us with an extended community of around 30-40 really close friends of that group. And that's my genesis. उनको manage किया. अब ये कर रहा.
तो इतने सालों बाद managing people, selling people, talent, products in different form, different things. What is the key thing to make things sell? I asked you about virality earlier. It can be misunderstood or understood in different ways.
No, I think
how do you sell a product? If I give you this glass of water today and say that, make it work.
See, I won't say product because we are dealing with humans.
Yeah.
I have a fundamental belief person. I'm in love with my clients. So if you ask me off camera, Vijay, you work with XYZ, right? You're talking to the person. That's my fundamental. So when I was selling Synapse, boss, I'm selling me. There's no difference between me and the bank. They're one people. So I keep telling my clients that who I work with, that I'm you. You are embodying the external face of the brand, but You have to love your clients. नहीं तो होगा नहीं. In our business, you can't do it. You have to be obsessed. You have to be
What if you
possessed.
don't like your client?
You won't be able to extract the best. That's the truth. You will do your job. You may not create magic. But to create magic, you need to win your.
Is there conflict of interest sometimes then?
Not if you know, if you're working for the best interest of your client, you'll know what not to take. And whatever you're taking, you believe in it. It's the same thing, right? If I want, like, for example, when I'm booking a show for my band, I'm booking a show for my band because I believe in it. Right? There's no conflict. So if I'm going up on stage and playing it, I'm believing it, I won't do it. So it's binary.
Got it. So one of the key things that has emerged out of, and this is the sort of election climate in the West, and that's why I'm bringing that analogy here, is of how associated big brands, big celebrities, and even influencers are in taking party lines. How do you compare that to a trend in India?
Not answering that. Next question.
No, what I'm trying to say is that will this come at all, or do you think people should stay away?
I don't have a for and against answer. It's beliefs. If you believe in an ideology, back it.
But would you tell your client and say, listen, stay off, don't make comments, don't make political comments?
You know, a lot of people, this has been asked, I'll base it down to not being for or against. Again, I'll base it down to you really believe in it. Karo. Our job is to tell you plus minus the consequences, also predictive, unpredicted, and then you take an educated call basically.
Okay, that brings us to the end. Vijay, thank you so much
Thank you for your time.
speaking with us. जाते जाते अगर आप हमें अपने कुछ pearls of wisdom दे दें, हम आपसे कुछ गाना भी गवाना चाहते हैं. और उसमें one song which is for your life philosophy.
Please नहीं गाना मत गाओ. अगर कोई singer होता, I would have done it. नहीं, I'm not humming. वो मैं गाना तो नहीं बजाऊंगा. ना, वो देखो मेरा Anna is calling me out already.
Yeah.
No philosophy. I would just say that.
So don't sing a song. You can give some lyrics. A song that defines you.
Song that defines me would be a song that I resonate with.
Yeah.
I won't say defines me. But if you ask me my go-to song, it's a Metallica cover of a Bob Seger song called "Turn the Page."
Okay, what are the lyrics?
It's on a lone and lonesome highway east of Omaha. Listen to the engines morning. On this, I forgot some parts of it. I forgot. Shit, I'm zoning out. But Turn the Page would be my go-to. Two songs, Wherever I May Roam by Metallica and Turn the Page by Metallica.